What you're going to be doing in this session is basically revising and editing your first application draft, either your cover letter or your essay. And in this particular assignment, you're going to be using a tool to help you track those revisions. And you're going to be submitting an assignment, so you're going to be submitting your first draft along with those tracked changes as one of the assignments in this session. And in this little video, I just wanted to show you how to do that. It's super easy, and I'm going to be using Word just because it's usually the default of most people. And if it's not, if you're using some other tool, then you have directions on the previous page, and it's very similar to this, just a little different. So what you'll do is right up here, it says Review, click on Track Changes, and then click on Track Changes, and you can see that my little toolbar is added there. And there's a couple of ways that you can make changes. For example, if you simply want to add a transition here, then you can add that transition. If you want to delete a slang word, then you would highlight it and just click on the delete key. If you wanted to add a comment, what you could do is click on an entire sentence that you want to make a comment, and say a comment that revise this section. So those are all the different ways that you can track your changes when you are revising your essay for vocabulary, when you're adding transitions and similes or metaphors, and then when you are revisiting your conclusion. Those are all the different focuses that you're going to be looking at in your revision. And this is the way that you would do it using that track change function. And once you are done with all of your revisions through the earlier part of this session, what you'll do is you will save this document with your changes, and you're going to submit that to me along with the suggested changes that you are going to be making. So, for example, you would be submitting this draft. Then, before you post it to discussion, what you'll do is resolve your revision. And the way you do that is simply by right-clicking. Let's try that again. Right-clicking, and it gives you the option of whether you can accept it or reject it. And so I'll reject it. Here in the deletion part, right-click again, accept or reject. I'm going to accept it. And then it adds it. Okay? And then if you add a comment like this, unfortunately, you'll have to delete that comment. So make whatever changes you want to internally before you delete that comment to resolve this issue. In this session, what you'll be doing is revising and editing your first draft of your application writing. So either your essay or your cover letter. And in this session, what you're also going to be doing is using the track change feature in your Word document or whatever your word processing document is to document those revisions. And you'll be looking at formal language, you'll be looking at adding transitions, similes, and metaphors, and also revisiting your conclusion. So throughout this session, I'm going to walk you through those steps in the revision process, but you're also at each step going to be documenting those revisions. And the way you do that is pretty easy. Up here on the tabs, you click on Review tab, you click on Track Changes, and then there's a few things that you could do. you can, for example, if you want to delete a sentence because it's all slang or inappropriate language, you would highlight it and click the delete key. If you wanted to add a transition, you would just add a transition wherever you like. If you want to change the formatting, again, you can either delete it or make changes that way. Now, when you are going to be resolving the paper, so that means when you have made all the changes and you want to make your final copy, then you'll need to resolve it. But first, with all of the changes that you make through the revision process, what you're going to do is you're going to submit this document with the changes so that I can see your progress. Before you submit this document into discussion, what you'll do is you will resolve it. So you would right-click on whatever changes you made, and you can either accept or reject. So I'll reject that. The transition, I'm going to accept that, so the transition was added. And then I'm also going to reject that deletion. And once I have resolved all of my changes, then that's when I would submit my second draft basically into the discussion. And that's where you're going to be doing some peer editing. After you're done with the peer editing, you're going to be moving on to the editing part of the writing process. And you'll be instructed to basically copy and paste your final draft into Grammarly.com, and it'll further help you with the revision and editing process. If you have any questions, please let me know.